that we get off subject. We start thinking about things that don't matter or don't matter much, and the important things we don't even discuss. But we're here to discuss some very important things today. Politicians.
President Donald Trump in North Texas at this hour for a discussion on a range of topics, including policing and race. And as you can see there, not everyone was happy to see the president in town earlier today. A look at the protests ahead of his arrival. Thanks for joining us here on this Thursday, everyone. I'm Ken Molestina. This is CBS 11 News at 5 o'clock and streaming online for you with CBS and Dallas-Fort Worth. We do have team coverage for you tonight on the president's trip here to Dallas. We want to begin with Jack Fink with more on what the president had to say during a roundtable discussion earlier today. Jack?
Well, Ken, President Trump repeated this afternoon what he has said previously, and that there must be law and order in the streets. Inside the Gateway Church this afternoon, the president also repeated his opposition to what some Democrats have pushed for, which is an effort to defund the police. Along with the president, U.S. Attorney General William Barr, Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams, and HUD Secretary Ben Carson have spoken at the roundtable. The state's three top leaders, Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, are here in the audience. But much of what was discussed involved policing. Attorney General Barr described the killing of George Floyd, quote, a ghastly spectacle in Minneapolis for the whole nation. He said there is distrust of law enforcement by the African-American community and that historically there was not equal protection under the law. But he said policing has improved over the last 50 years and that this is not the time to tear down institutions. The president said instead of defunding the police, the opposite should happen.
We must invest more energy and resources in police training and recruiting and community engagement. We have to respect our police. We have to take care of our police. They're protecting us, and if they're allowed to do their job, they'll do a great job. And you always have a bad apple no matter where you go. You have bad apples.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden has come out in the last few days to say he too opposes the effort to defund the police. House Democrats have proposed legislation as far as policing reforms, and Senate Republicans are now working on their legislation. The White House says hundreds of people are inside watching the president in the same room, listening to the roundtable. People going inside told me they were invited either as members of the church or were invited by the Trump campaign, but the White House insists this is an official White House event. From here, we know the president is going to be attending his first in-house fundraiser at a private home just south of here in Dallas. The RNC says it expects to raise at least $10 million, 25 couples attending. The minimum to get in, $580,000. But before anybody can get in, they must take a COVID-19 test, and they must test negative, again, before they go in. Live in Dallas, Jack Fink, CBS 11 News.
Yeah, Jack, and that dinner you're talking about just a couple of hours away from now. Let's continue our team coverage now, and let's get to J.D. Miles, live for us now at Dallas Love Field Airport, where the president was greeted on the tarmac by Governor Greg Abbott and other supporters as well. J.D.?
Ken, dozens of Secret Service agents, Dallas police, and state troopers have formed a perimeter securing the most familiar aircraft in the world, that being Air Force One, which you see behind me. It's parked here on the tarmac outside a private hangar here at Love Field. The president arrived at 2:49 this afternoon. He disembarked with Attorney General William Barr, waved to a small group of VIPs, and then came down the ramp to meet Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, Attorney General Ken Paxton, and Alabama U.S. Senate candidate Tommy Tuberville. Now, they did not shake hands. They did seem to social distance, but they were also not wearing masks. The president waved to the media that was recording his arrival, and then he left in a 37-vehicle motorcade that took him all the way to Gateway Church on Hillcrest Road in Dallas. The presidential arrival is always an interesting spectacle, and some people found positions around Love Field Airport to get a glimpse.
I think it's important that he's here. I hope that he uses his power and his voice for calm and peace and for dialogue, which we need more of.
And once the president arrived at Gateway Church, you can see there were several dozen protesters with signs who were waiting to let him know how they felt about his trip today to Dallas. After that private fundraiser that we've been talking about tonight in Preston Hollow, the president will return and he will board Air Force One around 9 p.m. and he will take off and leave Dallas after about a 6.5-hour trip. Live at Love Field, J.D. Miles, CBS 11 News.
All right, J.D., thank you very much. As you mentioned, we are still in the very heart of this visit. I want to give you a live picture right now of what it looks like with the protesters gathered outside of Gateway Church in Dallas, where the president is speaking right now. As of this point, everything maintaining very peaceful. We did expect that these protests, these kinds of demonstrations would take place. So, again, that was to be expected. We also know that there are some counter-protesters, supporters of Donald Trump, who are also out there, and they're sort of keeping their distance as well. But as you can see, the police are out there. Everyone seems to be peacefully protesting and letting their messages be known as the president continues his remarks inside of Gateway Church.